What's up, everyone? I'm back. But we're not going to get why I was gone for so long, but I'm in a new location. Yay! Recently turned 34 in this video on the 34 lessons that I learned in my life. A lot of y'all, based on the data, younger than me. So let's jump right into it. We're going to start off strong with number one being that there is no safety net. That is scary to know. But this year I learned through my own personal layoff, a breakup that occurred, and just life in general. And no job, no relationship is stable, that everything is constantly in motion. You only can control what's in here. You can't control what is out there. You can only do as much. I wasn't able to control a reduction in force because they overhired and my role became what is quote unquote redundant. And I can't control a relationship when something just ends and it ends and the other person just feels there is no future and you start looking at life differently. There's no point in staying together. The values have changed. I learned that everything is constantly changing and shifting and stability does not really exist. The only way you find stability that I learned this year is through him, the man upstairs, God himself. So live life day by day. Enjoy every moment like it is a piece of fruit that you just bite into and just enjoy, because it might not last forever. And it might, but you'll die one day. So there's that. Number two, everything is going to be okay. I learned that this year by basically losing my house and losing everything and having to live with other people. Everything will be okay. Listen, even in the Bible, there's a line in Corinthians that says, I'm going to read it here, God will generously provide all you need. Then you will always have everything you need and plenty left over to share with others. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 8. A lesson well learned in 2023. Just trust and believe that something will come, whether it's through family, friends, or even the government and nonprofits that exist in every state. If you're in Western society, and even if you're in other countries, there are countries that help those countries. And if you just do the right digging and meet the right people, you will find everything you need. We do live in a world that is abundant. We just don't see it thanks to mainstream media and all the negativity that it likes to spew. There's always a way. This year I really learned I've been a relationship driven guy. A lot of my work revolves around relationships and my life, and your life too, in a sense, that your relationships are everything. The people you have in your life, the people you meet from all walks of life, you never know who's going to be there for you when things hit the fan, because they will. And you won't know who will come out of the woodworks to support you until that moment occurs. And sometimes you could be at the top of the mountain and fall graciously into a valley, and that valley can last quite a long time, and it's usually longer than you think. And during these times, those specific people that are in your life supporting you will be there to help you in your survival, and they'll probably be the ones there when you make it, when you're successful in your life, whatever that looks like to you. Treat those relationships like freaking gold. Love and choose them, being service of them, and do everything in your power to support them as well. Number four, what I learned most, it's a dog eat dog world out there, and everyone's just fending from themselves. Everyone has some kind of family that they're trying to support, and whatever they do, no one's doing it out of their unconditional love, unfortunately. I go to church, I follow Christianity, and there you probably meet people that are closest to being unconditional and being in service and helping others. And I've heard stories, amazing and beautiful stories, from people who have gone to church and received help from the church itself. And for the most part, it's not really conditional, but when you break it apart, it probably is, because that will help you stay within the church, within the community. Now, it's a great conditional way of showcasing love and being helpful, but it's still conditional. I like how people say, oh, dogs love unconditionally. This guy right here, he will love me only as much as I feed him and walk him day to day. If it wasn't for that, he will bounce, he will leave. So there is a truth to conditionally things just occur. It's me, you scratch my back, I scratch your back, and that's just the way of the world. Read Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene to truly see how humans live day by day, even when they say they don't. Just look at their actions. Actions matter. Number five, there is still good people out there. I'm not trying to be this negative now, though. I'm really just saying that people will be conditional, and even if it's for the best, they should be. We all have a life to live. This world is cruel, it's brutal. There's too many people in the world to showcase any kind of compassion unless we live in smaller, condensed villages like we did back in the day. And even then, it was still really tough. We are humans, we have emotions, things piss us off. We all have different values, the way we grow up. There's so many factors out there that is almost incalculable. So, and with that being said, just learn how to read people. Learn how to read people and see who's being truthful, see who's not. And it can be really hard to tell, but just always look for both sides of the story. Especially if you follow someone or you know someone that has a lot of friends around them, there's going to be people that hate them and people that love them. Everyone has that. And you have to see those consistencies. We're not perfect. And when you take on somebody, just like in a relationship, you take all the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you have to be willing to be like, I can tolerate the bad and the ugly, and the good is why I'm here, right? And I can support, at least tolerate the other two. Number 6, exercise really is medicine. When I got laid off, it was literally the only thing I continued to pay for. I literally canceled everything I had. Everything. Netflix subscriptions, supplement subscriptions, everything got canceled because I had to save money. But one thing I didn't cancel was my gym membership. And this leads me to number 7, my jiu-jitsu membership, because I think jiu-jitsu is the best form of mental health. It is probably better than therapy in many ways. Talk therapy is great, but I think as a man, as a masculine man, I get my emotions out through physicality. And it doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu. It could be basketball, football, any other sport you want to add in there. But jiu-jitsu is my outlet, and it has been the saving grace for quite some time. Do something active like that for your mental health. Emotions are beautiful. I know it's tough out there. There are freaking guys out there on the internet saying that you don't need emotions. You just need to be hardcore. You need to do this. You need to do that. Blah, 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 blah. It's not true. It's unfortunate that maybe it's unfortunate to you that you are human and you have emotions that exist in every single one of us. And anger is a great emotion. It fuels us. It gives us energy. It gives us passion. It gives us all these things. But there's also sadness that makes us feel down. It makes us want to cry. These exist. They're part of us, right? We've experienced it throughout their life. When you were a kid, every one of us cried at one point because we didn't have a need filled. That just changes as you get older. And one of these this lesson is just saying, when you feel those emotions rise, do not ignore them. Let them flow through your body, feel them out, do whatever is necessary. When I'm angry, I like to do jiu-jitsu. I like to do physical activities, maybe go for a run, scream into a pillow, I don't know, something like that to release it. If I'm feeling a little sad, and I'm going to sit, I'm going to pray, and through prayer, sometimes some tears may come out. And I know that I'm doing it so it doesn't live in my body. And there's a great book called The Body Keeps the Score, a very popular book that I highly recommend that shows this, but emotions do get trapped into the body. Highly recommend having a good friend or good family member that you can talk these emotions through, especially as a man, and express it verbally, but you also have to express it in a physical manner, whatever that may look like, crying, screaming into a pillow, or whatever works for you. Love is found in the most weirdest and most inconvenient times. That's all I'm going to say there. More will be revealed in a future video. There is so much information out there that I got overwhelmed this year just doing a lot of learning myself. I'm a big book reader. If you've been following this channel for quite some time, you know that I read a lot. But this year, I really had to take a step back. And in October, I took about a 2.5-month break from all social media. I only listened to a handful of podcasts a week. I used to listen to like dozens. I used to always have a podcast in the background when I was cooking, working out, anything. I stopped that. I would listen to like beats or some kind of music to just no words, just like be in my head and find that voice again, because all of us are so ingrained in these devices that our voice has been pushed down. And we listen to all these people on social media, YouTube, you probably listen to mainstream media or watch TV shows and anything like that. It's slowly removing our own sovereignty and our own inner voice. So find some time to bring that voice out. Listen to that voice, because in those whispers is where God is speaking through you. 11, get you a dog. It's the best thing I ever did in my entire life. 12, learn sales. Sales will be the skill set required when shit does hit the fan, because guess what? You lose a job, you can get into sales relatively easy. I mean, has high turnover. There's always people leaving jobs, whether you're doing insurance sales, you're doing what I do, which is recruiting. I do sales and recruiting, or you sell for some other company, whether it's a software or they actually sell machinery and equipment, rentals, anything like that. I learned this year that sales is vital. It's super important. And also that some of the richest people in the world that are like super hidden, they probably like 1 or 2 millionaires, like they make $1 or $2 million a year, not the multiple millions, but they live a really decent life, and they probably live in those houses in those nice neighborhoods that you go to that you have no idea who they are. Most of those people are in sales. So it's a great skill to have. And no matter what happens in life, you can always find a job when you're in sales. Number 13, if you're in a relationship, one of the things I learned is that do not stop doing the things that made you fall for each other in the beginning. It's a hard lesson I learned as I look back, as I did my reflection of my life for this video. Don't stop. If you're in a relationship right now and you're 1-2 years in, remember all the things you did within the first 2 years and continue doing that throughout the life of your relationship and into marriage and beyond, because life will try to take a hold of you and it will remove that part. You'll become roommates. And the next thing you know, your relationship becomes a friendship. 14, community is everything. Whatever you do, wherever you live, build community. Keep building the community. It's a numbers game. In order to get really close friendships, you have to meet a lot of people. If you live in a city, if you live in a town, it doesn't matter where you live. There's always ways to meet people. This is why I personally love things like jujitsu. If I'm going to go out and maybe go dancing, do things that require you to be around people, take a cooking class. Recently, I found a chocolate factory near where I'm currently living, and they do nights where they do chocolate making classes. It's a great way to meet people. Like, go put yourself out there. It's tough. I'm initially an introvert, but this is the way to meet people. And then you get really close and cool with somebody and you say, hey, you want to grab a coffee sometime or grab a drink, whatever it looks like for you. This is how you meet people. And if you're tired of being on the apps, and I made a video about being on dating apps, and you want to meet a woman, the best place to do that is through these events, because girls will always go with their friends, and usually maybe one has a boyfriend, she does have single friends. Trust me, you will find her that way. 15, I learned this year that you'd be surprised how little you can live with. I have my whole life in a car. I can pack it up and ready to go. I need 2 luggage thingies, whatever those things are called, and a box for my books, plus the dog's stuff and the dog. But everything else can fit in 2 luggage cases and a box. That is mostly books, but that's my whole life. And that includes all my electronics, my phone stuff, my computer that I edit these videos on, and my camera equipment. Everything just lives in my car. And I have a simple Subaru Outback. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. 16, use creativity every single day. Do not let the world kill your inner child. It exists there. Even if you say, I'm not a creative type, you are. There's some creativity that you did as a kid. If me and you were to talk right now, I guarantee that I'll find something that you did as a kid that was artistic. Continue doing it. When looking for work or starting a business, do something that aligns with your values. I'm not saying that it's going to make you happy and it's going to be the best thing. Do what you love and all that shit. It's not true for a lot of people. A lot of people don't do exactly what they love. They do something that makes them money and they do what they love on the side. If I did what I love, I'd probably be a jiu-jitsu instructor making like no money and living in a place with a bunch of roommates. Not judging. People choose that. It's the way they want to live. It's a very artistic and creative way to live. But for me, that just doesn't work, because I want a different kind of life and I want a family one day and I want to make sure that they have money, right? Resources. Make sure you bring creativity every single day, or you utilize it in some shape or form every single day. Writing, photography, videos, YouTube, painting, whatever that is. Find your creative outlet, utilize it every day. If you could bring it into your day job, even better. Try your best to bring it in, use it every day. And sometimes that thing doesn't have to necessarily make you money. It could just be for your own soul. And that's how it feeds you in more ways than you can count. Miyamoto Musashi did it. He was a fighter. That was what he did. He was a mercenary, still did painting, and he still wrote poetry. So If he can do it, you could definitely find something. Want to find happiness? Being in service is the only way to happiness. Money ain't it. I can tell you firsthand. I found a job. I was making really good money to the point that at the end of all my bills, I still had a robust and abundant amount left that I would put in savings and stuff like that. But that time didn't bring me happiness. I thought it did. It made things a little bit easier. I'm not gonna lie. But the job that I was doing to make that kind of money was just not it. I'd much rather do the work that I did previously. I was making a little less, well, significantly less, but every day I was excited to get to work, to support, to be in service as the young men that I was working with at the time. And I gave that up so that I can get higher pay, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you watching this will feel the same way. But I can speak from experience of saying that I was making the big bucks, the amount of money that probably only 1% of Americans or even 0.1% of the world makes and living in San Francisco. And while I want to make that much, I also want to make that much, but being in service of the people I want to be in service to. So find how you can be in service and make us a good amount of money to just live, shelter, food on the table, have fun every now and again with your friends, and continue to just be in service every single day. Because if not that, why the heck are you here on this planet in the first place? 19. Forgive your parents. You don't want any lingering emotions. Yes, some of us have parents that suck. They did horrible things to us. But at the end of the day, you have to forgive them. Again, there's a book. I've talked about this in many videos before called It Didn't Start With You, and showcases through science and some spiritual stuff how not having that forgiveness to your parents and having some kind of relationship with your parents can do harm in your body. It's literally a genetic thing. It goes deep into things that are unknown, research that is still being done in this space, but just understanding what goes on. Forgive your parents. My parents are not perfect, but I still love them. I forgave them for all the things that they did as I was a kid that messed me up, and I had to do a bunch of work for that. None of us come out of childhood unscathed. All of us have something from childhood that affects us. So forgive your parents, love them, even if you don't talk to them all the time, or you don't like to talk to them because of whatever they did to you, or maybe they've passed away. You can still work on that, and there's plenty of books out there on it, and there's also a lot of other mystical experiences, that's all I'm going to say, that you can do to work on this. Number 20, don't be like me. Have fun. Set aside some time to have fun every week. Now, you don't want to have too much fun where like the rest of your life is in shambles because you're just out there partying and drinking, doing all this stuff every time. My fun looks different. Jiu-jitsu is fun to me. I like to go out on hikes with my dog and friends, and just love to be out in nature. That's fun for me. Party scene and doing all that, drinking, popping bottles and all that is not fun for me anymore. It was at one point in my life, but I'm an older guy now. Like, I'm not old, but that's just not what I'm about anymore. There's other things that have much more value than that. This one's simple. 21. Laugh more. Laughing is medicine for the soul. Try to laugh every single day. And I'm talking about like a deep belly laughter. Try to do that every single day, even if you have to find videos on YouTube or something. 22. Get 8 hugs a day. There's science out there that shows that 8 hugs a day improves a lot of internal hormonal systems that help you lead a happier and better life. And I'm all about optimizing, trying to live a good life. You're not always going to be happy, so I'm not saying a happy life, but just live a relatively good life. This is one of those secrets. Like physicality, physical touch is important for all of us. And if you have uncomfortable nature to physical touch, you should talk to a professional about that, because we all crave closeness. So getting 8 hugs a day from your mom, from your dog, from your partner, from a friend, doesn't matter, but just get those hugs. I'm not talking about like a quick, oh, what's up, man? And that's it. No, you want a full, like, holding hug for several seconds. So make sure you get those. Big lesson I learned this year in 2023. Good to be optimistic. I mean, God put us in this world for a reason. And by his grace, I'm able to live the life that I live. I'm super grateful. Even if I'm not exactly where I want to be, I'm following his will on what he wants for me. So it kind of changes things. So I'm optimistic about the future. 24, be useful. Simple as that. Whatever you do every single day, be useful. For yourself, for someone else, whatever that looks like. Be useful, be helpful, be in service. 26, continue becoming a better person. As you become better, people around you are inspired by that. And guess what's going to happen? They're going to look to be better. And it's definitely one of those things that you don't hear. People don't go to you all the time to say, like, thank you so much. You did this for me. They will sometimes, but for the most part, they'll stay silent. And this includes family, friends, everyone around you. As you get better, they get inspired to become better. They listen to what you do. They're watching your Instagram stories or TikToks or whatever you create, and they probably would implement things that you say or do because everyone wants a better life. I mean, who doesn't really, unless you're some homeless person on the street and you're a little cuckoo in the head. There was a time in my life where I thought being a man was the hardest thing in the world, but I've come to realize how beautiful this experience of being a man is. It's tough. Don't get me wrong. Enjoy it while it lasts, because as you get older, it's not going to be the same. Enjoy your manhood. Enjoy your masculinity. Revel in it. Be grateful for it. Beautiful experience. Don't let anyone outside tell you how terrible it is. Now, there is negative and dark masculinity, and those dark triad traits are definitely part of that. But when you become a holistic man, which I've made a video on before, it's definitely one of the best experiences you can have. 27. This one's just a quote, but it's a great lesson. There are no solutions, only trade-offs. Quote by Thomas Sowell. I will make sure to repeat that in many of my videos because it's so freaking true. I would say ponder on that. 28. I'm hitting you with another quote. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Mike Tyson once said that. People are like, you have to be goal driven. You have to be this. You have to be that. You also see all those motivational videos online. But what I'd say is like, yes, you want a target. You want to hit a target somewhere, and you have to be flexible on how you get to that target, and how that target necessarily won't be a bullseye, but you might land somewhere around it. So you need to be able to be okay with that. Like if your goal target one day is to have $10 million in the bank, what it takes to get there is very difficult. It's not a straight line. It is very messy. You're probably going to become very broke. There are people who became rich that were bankrupt at one point in time. There's so many downsides to getting that high. You might not even make it to 10 million. Maybe you only make it to 6, but at least you got close. So remember, have your target, but be okay with being flexible on how to get there and what the target may look like when you do achieve it. You can do it all, but you just can't do it all at once. All the things you want to do in life, all the things that you want in your life right now, it's something that I've had to learn. It's just not done all at once. So you have to be patient. You have to treat this life that God gave us as building a house. You build a foundation. You have to build the house brick by slow brick. And that takes time. Some people are lucky and it happens faster than others, but they deal with consequences for getting it that fast. So again, going back to the other lesson, there are no solutions, only trade-offs. So what are you trading off to achieve the kind of success or achieve the life you want? Ponder on that. Number 30, we're almost there. Your life works in seasons. Sometimes that morning routine you've created, it's not going to work for the long term because life happens. Things happen, and that requires some change. That requires some adaptability. That requires flexibility. So that cold plunge, your workout, everything you do in the morning, if that's something that you're looking to create, and all these people out there tell you this is what you should do in the morning, it's not going to work 100% of the time. Sometimes you have to wake up and you have to go straight on your computer and hustle. Sometimes you got to go straight into the office and hustle. You have to do whatever it takes to build the life that you want if you're looking to build something drastic. And even if it's not like money or career, whatever that looks like, things will have to change in order for you to get there. So just know that whatever it is, you have to be flexible, again, adaptable with how you manage your day to day. And I use an example for me, jiu-jitsu. I was doing 3 times a week for the last 2 years. 2023 was a tough year. I had to move. I had to live with other people. In the places that I lived, unfortunately, there wasn't a jiu-jitsu studio nearby. A lot of studios, unfortunately, require like you to sign up for like a year long and all these other things that come into that. So I had to take a break. I'm still technically on a break, and I haven't done it since September of 2023. It's currently middle of January. I've had to take a break. Think about it all the time. I've taken test classes around wherever I'm living at the time to at least get some practice in, but it's not ideal. And I have to be okay with the fact that once I have my own place and I'm set, that I can find a gym and then start going back. I'm in the hustle mode right now. I'm working crazy right now. So that's another reason why I can't go, because it requires a lot of time and investment of time to get it done. So for now, it's on the back burner until I'm able to bring it back. 31, be careful who you take advice from, especially as I've become more God first, more looking up to Him. I'm reading the Bible more. I'm being very cautious and careful on who I read books from. I was reading books from everyone. Now, in order for me to get a book or read a book, I have to listen to a podcast with a person, sometimes multiple, in order to even consider their book. If I hear someone talk about a book many, many times, I want to see how this person has lived their life, what they've done, what they're doing in the day. Are they heavy drinkers? All these things that you hear. I want to see what that is, because I'm trying to embody certain skill sets and practical advice from guys and gals that have lives that I'm trying to have myself. I don't drink. I don't party. So if I'm reading a book from some guy that's like, be this person, here's be multimillionaire, but they're going out and partying. They have fucking 10,000 cars and whatever. It's not the life I'm looking at. So the likelihood of me reading his book is probably not that high. Maybe I'll just find a summary on YouTube and just do that. Instead of spending hours upon hours of reading a book. I'm saying you can learn from that person, but you have to be careful on what you take from that person, because it's not the lifestyle I'm trying to live. Sacrifice and time is required, but one thing I will not sacrifice is sleep. Now, I know that's going to change. Some nights I'll get my full 8 hours of sleep. Sometimes I'll get only 6. But if I'm between 6 and 8, I am happy, because when you don't have sleep and you're doing that consistently, it's diminishing returns. You're just not going to be at 100%. You're not going to make the best decisions. You're not going to be as creative as you can be. Sleep is necessary. And at one point in time, I hated sleep. I thought it was unnecessary. It was a waste of time because I wanted to get things done. But now I'm realizing how important it is as I get older, as I do more creative work, as I work in jobs that require a lot of effort. Sleep is becoming more vital and important. 33, I think having physical seasons is necessary. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Winter, seeing snow, being in cold. Spring, experiencing beauty of spring, the beauty of summer and hot days, and then the beauty of fall, which is my favorite season of all. Gets a little chilly, the leaves start falling. Like, having that, I think, is important to building character, and it should be a part of your life. And even if you live in somewhere like Southern California, Arizona, and all these places that those things don't happen, it's good to visit during those times. Go to the northern states of America in the winter time. Go to South Florida during the summer to experience some massive heat. Do these things, because I think it builds character and you have a better understanding of why people do the things they do and how they live their lives. 34, I think God is real and He works His way through us. Whether you believe or not, He's doing something all the time, working His magic. And we don't know what that is until years down the line, when you look back and you're like, oh, that's why I had to go through that. That's why I had to go through that tough time. That's why I had that beautiful moment or beautiful experience, because I needed to bring that back, right? I think a lot of books, a lot of stories come from a godly story. When you read the Bible, you start seeing a lot of consistencies in books and movies and TV, and He's working through us. And it's something that I came to fruition this year, when I was a agnostic person for a while. And then this year was the year that I just started going to church and really following the word. And it's really become a big part of my life. And I'm lucky to have found God and able to showcase this and all my lessons. And if you're watching this far, truly thank you so much. And I'd love to continue having a discussion and conversation. So comment below, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. There's a lot planned for 2024 that I'm working on right now. I took a long break because creatively I needed the brain break after a 60-day challenge. I'm back and ready to go my week by week. And I look forward to seeing y'all every week of the year. So thank you for watching, and until next video.